One of the things that I believe that corporate executives and indeed any entrepreneur needs to find time for reflection. We are between meetings, we are between flights, we are between hotels, we are between seminars, and we are between making deals all the time. And in that period, we don't stop to reflect and say, what the hell am I doing? You took a call 5 years ago to break with a corporate career and go and set up a school of public policy at Ahmedabad, right? That was your aha moment that said, I've had enough of this corporate world. I need to do something else in life. What most people do is that they come to a breaking point and then they take that call. And when you come to a breaking point and then you take a decision to suddenly go and go to the Himalayas, or you want to become a teacher, or you want to become a guide or whatever, it's a bit traumatic, because that decision then becomes a kind of unacceptable fallback option to you, which you are forced into. However, if you reflect on yourself and reflecting on 4 factors, where am I going? What am I doing? What do I need to do? And what's in it for the family? Beautiful. If you debate these 4 questions, and then you say that, what am I doing? I'm doing what X, Y, and Z. What do I need to be doing? Question on what your competencies, skills, and capabilities are, right? Where am I traversing as far as the family is concerned? And what are my long-term goals in terms of achieving whatever I want to achieve? I think that sense of individual purpose is sometimes needs to be sharpened, recalibrated, and reflected upon. We don't find time for reflection. So doing a 10-day Vipassana course at some stage of life is good for you. Yeah. But you have to do the Vipassana in your brain much before that. Much before that. You have to do that much before that. And that is the reason why you have so much of angst today. We are in a turbulent world. We are getting into an even more turbulent world. Yeah. You are going to have job losses, career losses. And, even I was this morning reading the chief of Tata's, Mr. Chandrasekhar, a redoubtable, very, very competent business leader, talking about the fact that you need to protect your people and you need to address issues of their mental health and wellness at this time. That is the captain of one of India's storied businesses addressing his people on the need to take care and nurture people and to reflect on their mental health and wellness. That is a telling statement. That is a telling statement because that means that is really one of the factors affecting productivity, output, and outcomes in companies today. People just drop off the playbook. People are sick and tired of the shenanigans being played. And I think the role of a leader is very important as a coach, as a guide, as an elder brother, as an uncle, as a friend. These roles become extremely important. Activity, output, and outcomes will happen. I ran a very successful company for 10 years. I never compromised on my principles of empathy, compassion, and decency and respect for people. That doesn't mean that I was any less aggressive as far as targets were concerned or as far as objectives were concerned. It was just that for me, these were important virtues that a leader must have and should have. And I think it is that reflection on where you are and what you're doing. Because many times what we do is we rationalize the reasons. Somebody gets promoted. The minute somebody gets promoted and you don't get promoted, you start immediately saying, boss ka chamcha hai. If it happens to be a lady, the references are even more unpleasant. Now, does that help? I think you need to ask the question, why is it that I am not in that ring? Maybe there is something. And the more you reflect on yourself, it goes like the Doha of Kabir. I think that reflection is to be done by everybody at various stages of their career. Even today, I do it. I'm retired. I'm not seeking to please anyone or to do any great corporate feat. But still, I look at, is participating on a Gopal Iyer podcast for me more enjoyable, more giving me happiness than sitting on a board of a company? I make my choices in that way, albeit limited, little less in terms of impactful. But it's the same reflection that I believe that young corporate executives and entrepreneurs should have.